Get ready to be inspired. Michelle Smith is my guest today. She's the owner of Piccolo Mundo Toys. And I love just how she created her business, where it came from. She followed her passion, she followed her heart, and she built something beautiful and inspiring. And I am so excited to bring her onto the show so you get to learn from her. And before I do, I just want to share a little bit more about Michelle. Michelle Smith started her adventure in the specialty toy industry in 2006 when her and her husband opened their first store, Piccolo Mundo Toys, in Portland, Oregon. Her love of travel, learning about other cultures, and advocating for children in developing countries fueled her desire to create a business around those passions. From the start, her goal has been to not only provide a fun experience for children to play, but also to encourage cultural awareness by highlighting different countries each month through the toys and books they carry. Their first store was only 1,300 square feet, but after a few short months of being open, they expanded to the store to nearly 2,700 square feet. And today, Michelle now owns 3 store locations. They also joined the Good Toy Group in 2007 after attending their first toy fair. Throughout Michelle's life, one of her mottos has always been to work with and surround yourself with the people who make you a better version of you. Becoming a member of the Good Toy Group is a great example of that, and Michelle says that joining the group has proven to be one of the smartest decisions she's made so far. She also proudly serves on the Good Toy Group board and has also been a member of their product team. Michelle's been able to create a brand and team environment that she's extremely proud of. She says, "Together, we are changing the world." I'm so excited for this interview, and you can check out piccolomundotoys.com. We'll link to everything in the show notes, and let's get this party started with this episode. Are you ready to open up and talk about all things business? I'm Crystal Vilkaitis, a curious entrepreneur who loves talking about business, especially over a glass of wine. I started Crystal Uncorked to share open and honest conversations about my journey and talk to other entrepreneurs about their experiences. We pull back the curtain and talk about the highs and the lows. Wine isn't required, but is recommended. This is Crystal Uncorked. Michelle, welcome to Crystal Uncorked. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. Okay. Now I have to just say, Michelle is like you might be my all-time favorite listener. You are so engaged on Instagram. You gave me the advice of sometimes you need a break for breakthrough, which I talked about in the first episode of season 1 or season 2. And like that truly helped me so much. And I just love seeing your comments and seeing you show up. And I'm so stoked for our conversation today.
Thank you. Yeah. I feel like just meeting you, and I've never met you in person, but I feel like I know you because I listen to your podcasts and then, of course, with the business, Crystal Media. But I feel like I know you, and I feel like I've become braver just getting to know your story and who you are.
Oh, that means the world, Michelle. Seriously. And it so means the world that you listen and for your support. And I'm just so glad we're here together. And like Michelle said, she's also a client of ours at Crystal Media. So this is like double fun. I want to know, Michelle, tell me, what are you drinking?
Oh, okay. So this is exciting. I love wine, but when we're recording, I have another appointment that I need to go to. So I am drinking a tea with my favorite mug. It's an Irish mug. So I really love that. And of course, we're getting close to St. Patrick's Day. And it is a local tea, and it's Where's My Mind? So.
Oh my God. I love it. Oh my God. I need some of that tea.
Yeah. So it's for focus. Yeah.
Yes. The focus. I tell you what, I found some of those teas too, or like powders you add to your drinks for that focus. One of them was Focus Fizz, and I loved it. It was so great. Just like, that afternoon when you're feeling mentally fatigued and you need a little something. Yeah. Love it. So I am drinking wine, and today is a special day because we're filming on March 2nd, which is the actual launch day of Crystal and Cork Season 2. And so I'm so excited to share it with you. And I chose one of my favorites, Burrtech Winery. I always say winery, but it's Burrtech Family Estates. They're in Encinitas, California. They have great wine. I interviewed the co-owner on Season 1, so check that out if you haven't heard it. Just a really inspiring story. And so cheers, Michelle, to our conversation today. Yes. All right. So tell us a little bit about your business, Piccolo Mondo Toys, and how you got started.
Okay, well, I kind of laugh. So Piccolo Mondo means small world in Italian. And so my big joke is I'm not Italian, but I love Italian wine. We actually, so I do have a passion for wine. My husband and I even had an Italian wine tasting at our wedding as an activity. So that was really a cool thing. We made little books, and it was a casual. We were a little older when we got married, so we had it in our backyard, but it was very good. But Piccolo Mondo means small world, and I got some advice. It was actually a book that I read from Maria Shriver years ago about basically looking at what you're passionate about and trying to make a business around it, and not, being afraid to like try new things. And so I looked at what I loved. I love children. I had just had my 2 children, and then I'm also a bonus mom for 2 boys. So I have 4 kids in my life. And then I love to travel. I love to learn about other cultures. I am very empathetic and have a passion for women and children in developing countries and their right to education, because I feel that my life was so improved by going to college. I'm from a really small town in Oregon, and I want every child to have that opportunity. And so I looked at all of those things. And then, of course, I love Star Wars, and I love Spider-Man, and I love Wonder Woman, and I love toys. And I was a huge game player. I love Monopoly. I love all strategy games, pretty much all strategy games. I love party games. My grandmother was a big puzzler, and so I did puzzles. And so I really just looked at all of my passions and tried to build a business around it.
Oh my gosh. Michelle, I wish we lived closer. Italian wines, games, done.com. We would be hanging out, having so much fun. I might steal your idea for what you did at your wedding if I ever get married.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful
The other
story
thing we have in common is our love of dogs. And so but I somehow don't have that combined in my business, but I love my dogs, and I know you have dogs, so.
I know. Yes, totally dog people. I love it so much. And I love how you just followed your passions. You got really clear on what it is that you love doing and said, okay, I want to turn this into a business. And that's one thing I think sometimes people think oh, I love doing that, but I could never turn it into a business, or I could never make money doing that, or that couldn't work for me. And I'm such a believer that if you are passionate and you are willing to put yourself out there, anything is possible. You really can make it happen. But what an amazing collection. And you started with 1 store, but now have 3, correct?
I do. Mm-hmm. 3 stores and a warehouse and a website. Yay.
All right. E-commerce now. How is the e-com going?
We launched our new website in October. We've had a website from the first year that we opened. So I always knew that was important. My customer base is educated, sophisticated. In fact, sometimes I always thought they were a little ahead of where I was. So I've always tried to make sure that my brand looked professional. So we've had a website, but I think we obviously during the pandemic, it brought out the need to connect more with people in other ways than just having them visit the store.
Right. Absolutely. It was a very smart move to go that step. And we're just seeing so many retailers do it, which I think is so great. But you still need that physical storefront. People are still coming in and seeing and shopping, which is wonderful. Michelle, tell us, what are 3 key lessons or tips that really propelled you to your current impact, whether that's or to your current level, whether that's impact or revenue?
Yeah. Okay. It's so hard to narrow them down because I love anything that's self improvement. So I'm constantly trying to learn, and I listen to podcasts, and then I'm trying to, read books and, take different kinds of webinars or whatever. So I guess if I think about one of the first lessons, and it was a friend of mine, and he said, um, if you sleep in the dog's bed, you're going to get fleas. You could get fleas. And so that translated to, pay really close attention to who you surround yourself with. And so I think one of my, I guess a lesson that I learned is just really, I've always tried to put myself around the best people. Like if I'm in the toy business, I'm knowing who the best people are or the best vendors or whatever. I'm trying to put myself and learn from those. So I surround myself with the people who I want to be more like, I guess and be real careful of maybe some that maybe have veered off in a different direction, and, being able to let that go. Maybe that doesn't align with my core values. So really, surrounding myself with the people who have, I learn from, who continue to challenge me. And that would include my husband, because we certainly would not have our company. We're a team. He is excellent at some of the things that I'm not as strong with, and vice versa. So it's a partnership in both business and in our, family.
Oh, which is so fun. That doesn't work for everybody, but I love that it works for you guys and that you have that partnership. And it's that I just said this the other day to Dustin in the car of like, you're the same as the the 5 people that you spend the most time with, I've heard a kind of similar saying to what your friend said. And I just feel like I spend so much time with all my podcasts that I listen to. I'm like, I'm becoming these people, I'm like, so the same listening to all of that. I love it.
Don't get me wrong. My husband and I don't work together every day. He has his real job. We call it. He has his corporate job in finance. But without his history and encouragement too, he's always supported my belief. I literally called him from a Starbucks and said, I found where we're going to open our toy store. He's like, our what?
How funny. Oh my gosh. Okay. So he doesn't work in the business, but he is just like a life partner. Just
he does the finances for the business. So
the finances,
he does,
right.
He does work in the business, but just not. Yeah.
Got it. Awesome. I love it. And then, like you said, you have to let some people go too. Like I've heard there's a reason, there's a season or a lifetime when it comes to relationships. And so sometimes it's just a season or a reason, and we outgrow people, we change, we evolve. Like that's just natural, and being able to kind of move past that. I love that feedback and that lesson. So that's a great one. What's your next one, Michelle?
Okay. The next one would be just to try new things. I'm always trying new things. It's taken me longer to get into this one where don't be afraid to fail, and maybe even celebrate your failures. Of course, I always want to be successful, and I have a hard time sometimes because I don't want to fail and I want it to be perfect. And so I think though sometimes, don't think it has to be perfect. What I think progress over perfection, that is really important. And I'm trying really hard to get better at that one. That's something that I still need to, but I've always tried new things. I want to, it's hard for me to go back on vacation in the same exact place over and over again, unless it's Hawaii. I love Hawaii. But I always want to go try a different country or try, it's been hard. The pandemic's hard because we haven't traveled as much, but and then I always imagine, I could maybe live here. And, like what would it be like if I lived in Italy in a small town, or if I'm in Spain on the coast, or, and then the reality might not be that I'm going to do that, but it's fun to think about. And definitely being open-minded to trying new things.
Totally. And I don't know if you experience this. I'm sure you do. When I try new things, and especially if it's travel and going new places, when you put yourself in a different environment, you're thinking different, right? And I feel like you're learning, you just think differently, you're learning new things, which can provide you answers or different ways of thinking for a current problem or situation in your life or your business. So I feel like it's just critical to do that. to add diversity to your business and your life and your way of thinking.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's really important for me to take a break. So when I mentioned that to you, I think sometimes if we go, and we never have a break, you're not allowing your brain to kind of allow new things in. And, I think it's important to recharge. So, and my third one would be, and again, it took me longer to get to this one, but ask for help sometimes, like, I want to try to do it all myself. And I think I started to really learn that when I had my my children. So, I tried to be, okay, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I can take this on, I'm a business owner. And it's like, no, I can do all of it, but sometimes it's hard to do it all at the same time. And it's okay that I don't have to do every single thing, that I can get other people involved and helping. And it's actually even more fun sometimes when it's more people involved.
Oh my gosh, totally. Yeah. Well, that's funny you say that, because for Crystal Media, our internal theme right now is collaboration. I just am like, I need us all, there's some siloed areas, and I want us all collaborating and working together. And it does make it so much more fun. And then again, like when we talk about just the diversity in our thinking, like two heads are better than one, we have new perspective and fresh ideas, or just different. But I so get it. It's very hard to ask for help sometimes.
Yeah. And sometimes my fear on my team is, especially the last couple of years, is like, oh, I don't want to give them too much. They already have so much. And so it was hard for me to want to, bring them in even more, because I'm like, oh my gosh, we changed point of sale systems and website all. I don't want to, add more stress, but actually, as I have brought them in more in that aspect of my life, it's just been better. And, ask for help. Like, we have a house cleaner again, thank goodness. I just can't do it. And, I tried, and my daughter needed tutoring, so we gave up the person to clean the house, and I was doing it. But gosh, I wear so many hats. And so I think that's actually something that listening to your podcast has made me revisit and really try to be like, okay, where can I don't have to be the doer of everything? How can I find somebody the right, what is it, soul for the role?
Oh yeah, soul for the role.
That's a Bob Nagin.
Yep.
Ism.
Yep, that's totally Bob Nagin. I love it. I love that though so much.
Yeah.
I always say the right people in the right seats, because you could have the right person, but they're in the wrong seat. Or the wrong person, they're not going to fit any seats, so they got to get off the bus. Like, I think that's Good to Great, which is just a great book.
Okay. Yeah. And for me, I'm always like, okay, we don't all have to play the same position, because I was in sports. So it's like, okay, we have different roles. We don't all have to be the pitcher. We have to have a catcher and a, outfielder. And so, yeah. But anyway, it's an ongoing struggle of asking for help. I wish I probably would have learned it when I was a little younger, but I'm definitely getting there now, even more.
Yeah. Yeah. Such an excellent tip. All of these are so great. And I want to just add on, because I'm going through this a little bit where I'm taking on a lot and I'm restructuring some things. And so I need some help, but I'm assuming that people have too much going on. And like you said too, like I changed POS and now we launched this website and we have all this going on. And I just would encourage anybody listening, and myself, I'm saying this really for myself, and advice here for me of ask, like, can you take this on? Is that okay? Or how is your workload? Do you want to take this on? Do you feel like you'd be great at this? And I've been doing a little bit of my team, but I need to do a little bit more, because I have been assuming, and we know what assuming means.
Definitely. Yeah. And, you have had, I think, Josh Orr on your podcast multiple times. He's the one who helped with our website with Streamline Retail. So he talks about that too. And going through that whole process of really doing my website with him, opened my eyes to that even more. And it's like, I joke with him, I was about 2 weeks behind at every stage. I had the aha moment like 2 weeks after, and he would tell me something, and I 2 weeks later, I'd be like, okay, now I get what you were going with. And yeah, but sometimes, I mean, this is number 4, but which I know it's not on there, but sometimes you have to listen to your inner voice and listen to your intuition and be able to push when needed, but also pull back sometimes. And I was going to do our point of sale the year before, and I just thought, you know what, my gut is, and I talked to my team and I said, what do you guys think? And we decided to push it off. And then it was like, okay, we're getting closer another time. And then we kind of held off a little. And then my gut was to go forward with the website, even though it was in that same time frame, you know, of the point of sale. And I'm really glad I did it, because the more I learn about with this website, I think it had really was the right timing for 2022. So the vision of going forward, and you know, we could have pulled back on that, but I don't think that would have been a smart choice. So kind of listening to my inner voice is important.
It's excellent. It's funny you say that. I was just journaling about that last night on just some of those like gut feelings that I'll have. And it's like, I can't explain it, but I just know I'm supposed to do this. And I don't have all the details figured out yet, but I know the next step. So I'm just going to take it. And for me, like I talk about this on the show, I feel like I need permission, or I have the fear of what people think, all that stuff. Not all the time, but like that will come up for me. And, but I'm really moving into this place of like really honoring that inner voice and just taking that next step, because it's powerful. Like when we really listen to that, it's and it blows my mind where I end up. And just like you said, the timing for you would have been behind if you did wait, like you knew it was time to go. So
yeah. But awesome. It wasn't in 2020, so I think that it was good. Our stages. So yeah.
Oh, totally. I think so too. Okay, so tell me, kind of along the same lines, tell me about the best business advice you've ever received, and by who?
Oh gosh, it's so hard because it kind of blurs a little bit who first told me. And I can't even really 100% remember who it was. It might have been a coach. It's really aligning your goals, like figuring out what our goals are, and writing them down. So I have been goal driven from the time, and my true first recollection of this was I was on a basketball team, and when we had a meeting and we set out that we were going to go to state. And at the time I was a freshman and I was just barely on the varsity team, and we did not, we like lost to this other team. Like it was horrific, like 70-16 or something ridiculous.
Oh boy.
That's a lot of baskets for high school girls basketball, but it was not good. And so he brought us all together and he said, okay, we're going to start this, course. And like, where do you guys want to do? And we're like, we want to go to state. And we worked together as a team. And my junior year, I was a starter on the team, and we went to state, and we took third in state, and we were like the Cinderella team. And it was a very exciting time, but that just kind of carried me through. So whether it was in college, or I remember my first job out of college, I presented them with my plan of what I was going to do. I had a 1 year and 5 year, and in the interview for my first like real job out of college. And, some of this stuff, I've tweaked along the way, and I don't speak 3 languages. I wish I did, but I don't. But, you look back on it. But I still do that now. I kind of like, had a vision. I need to revisit it lately. I've been surrounding myself with some business coaches. And one in particular, I just did a 30-day, goal setting and you could pick any goal. I always have a million goals, so it was really hard for me to narrow like one down that I was going to focus on. But she gave me some advice on like, okay, we were supposed to have until the next day to pick the goal. And she's like, okay, you got to pick the goal. You have 2 minutes. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it was almost like she forced us like on this Zoom call to pick our goal. And I did it. And my goal ties to my business. I have, like I said, I have personal, workout, family, all different goals. But my goal was to connect myself with a graphic designer that would help me take some of that off my plate to have more brand consistency and to propel me to the next level with my business, both on social media, our website, as well as in store. And I was able to achieve it. I found somebody, and it's not an employee. I originally thought I might do an employee. I decided to go with somebody who I could just contract with instead. But that's their profession. And so I just think having a vision of and understanding and breaking your goal down to baby steps to get there, but definitely having the vision and writing your goal down. There's a statistic, I think, that is 42% higher chance of achieving a goal if you write it down.
Yep.
And so for my kids, I tell them that too, with their sports or what they want to do. Dream big. Don't limit yourself, but definitely have a goal. So
yeah, you do. It's amazing how just simply writing it down, like you said, 42%. But then, I also think part of that, we often won't spend the time, and this could be like 5 minutes. You obviously were like pressured, 2 minutes, go, what's the goal? But I think we get so caught up in doing and living life and go, that we don't take a step back for a second to think about what do I really want? What are my true goals? Mine, not what somebody else thinks I should do or what my competition is doing. What do I really want? And getting really clear there first. And like you said in the very beginning of how you started your business, you got really clear on your passion and, how to then implement that into a business. And so, knowing what you want, setting those goals, writing them down. And then I just want to add in accountability is just, if you've got a partner, you've got somebody who you're sharing to your team, things like that can just really help make sure that it gets done. And if you don't hit the goal, then of course you've got a goal to measure against. I always say, if we don't set goals, what are we trying to do here? What are we measuring? What is success then? We don't know if we've hit success or not. And you can always...
And I mentioned you have really inspired me. I think you even probably talked about many of these subjects along your podcast. But and I appreciate you being vulnerable. It has helped me to open up a little bit and put myself out there a little more. So that's been a really good thing. With the goals in particular, I was working with my kids on visualizing, because that was super powerful when I was an athlete, of okay, you want to visualize your success. And I did that, I feel like up until I was about 40 years old for myself. And then all of a sudden, all of my energy was going to my kids about visualizing. And I maybe thought I was kind of in a good place, and I stopped doing it for my own self. It was very interesting. And so just recently I'm like, okay, I'm going to visualize what am I like as that person who met that goal. And I do believe in self-fulfilling prophecy in a way, if you think it's going to happen, and so I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the new me. I'm so excited. I'm going to put that energy back on myself and start to really visualize, what I want to be like. And probably it's also because my youngest is graduating from high school and he'll be in college. And so we're kind of reevaluating.
Yeah. Big life changes there. That's for sure. And Michelle, I just have to tell you, I had insane chills when you were talking about you and your vision and then kind of getting back to you. I'm so glad that you had that moment and stopped and thought about that. And my body was just like, yes, Michelle is in the right place. This is so exciting. And I'm just glad that you're doing that. It's so critical. We don't take that time to visualize. Where do we see ourselves?
Yeah. Yeah. And then I have to remember, why did I start my business? Because if I get too far away from my why, then I start to not enjoy it as much. And then when I'm like, oh yeah, I am changing the world, because all the toys and all the things I bring into my store are very selected. And I have, some messages and some important subjects that I think, or play just in general, and how important it is, how we want to get kids outside, all these things. And that is my why. But my other ulterior motive for having this business was so that I could be there for my family. and my kids, and that I wanted to be able to be at all their events. And because before that I had to travel when my customer wanted me there, and I wasn't in charge of my own schedule. And now I get to be like, write my schedule. So of course, owning your own business comes with some challenges sometimes too, and it's more work than ever, but I have to remind myself that I get to choose it. I get to pick that, and I need to own it so that I don't feel quite so overwhelmed.
So I love that. So what do you do, speaking of overwhelm, what do you do to recharge your battery? You're such an advocate for rest, you're traveling. What do you do? We need to recharge our battery. So what's your go-to?
My go-to, I enjoy our dogs and walking our dogs. Probably would be one, just being outside. We go to the coast sometimes. I love the beach. It's just very peaceful. For the longest time, we didn't even have a really good internet connection. So you really had to like turn off all devices, which is great. I mean, I have to say that I will turn it all off, and I'm okay with that. Travel truly would be one of my favorite things if I have a chance. And I appreciate it probably more than ever because we really haven't traveled much in the last 2 years. And I would say spending time with my family and, just appreciating where our kids are now. And I love to cook. So that to me, it's sort of like I get to do things for my family. And when they're all in the same house, which is not as often now. My daughter's a freshman in college. Our two older boys, we call it fully launched. They work at Nike, and they both live on their own here. But luckily they are in Portland. But when all of us are in the home together and we're playing like a game, that's probably one of my happiest, proudest moments.
Whoa.
So,
yeah.
And did I mention my dogs too? And my husband?
Your doggies. Yep. Yes.
I love good food. I mean, just going to a restaurant and not having to cook. I mean, that is a great recharge.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It could be the small things, it doesn't have to be like I go to Hawaii for 2 weeks and I snorkel every day and whatever. Like, that's great. That would be awesome. But it totally can be some of those small things. You have to have some of these small things it's about balance, right?
Yeah. I love taking baths with like Epsom salt and, kind of aromatherapy and all that. I've recently found a place that offers cryotherapy, and it's photo light therapy. It's called PBM, photo biomodulation. And so there are these 2 panels, infrared and an infrared sauna. And so I have really been scheduling because you have to make appointments. And when I'm really great, if I have an appointment, I'm there, and so you have to make the appointment. And so I've really found with this, new place that I've been going to since last May, that I love it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad that you brought that up. There is a sauna I want to buy that you can have in your home, and it has chromotherapy built in, cause I love saunas. And there's so many health benefits. And then I was learning about chromotherapy and all those health benefits, and it was amazing to me. And I had a lot of fear about moving to Colorado because we do have colder weather and we do get a lot of sunshine, but it's cold. And I just, coming back from California, needed that warmth. So I've been looking at these saunas, and I've just, it's insane, the health benefits. It's so cool that you are doing that and found a local place. I don't have a local place.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome. They know me there.
Yeah.
And I come in and they're, younger people sometimes that are working there, and I I give them my, you need to create a vision board. And the one girl, her name's Casey, and she's like, a what? And then, so we talk a little bit, and she's studying nutrition and health and different things. And so a lot of them are like-minded about, learning to just be healthier and what different things but this year was all about, instead of eliminating things, for me, it was about what could I do more of? So drink more water, get more sleep, move more. I was trying not to take things away from myself as much because, it's not as fun. Yeah. Right. But anyway, she came up and she showed me her vision board. So 5 months later, she made a vision board, and I loved it. So
Oh
Yeah.
my God, I love that, Michelle. That's so
Yeah. It's pretty
inspiring.
cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, okay. So tell me what's in store for the future of Piccolo Mundo toys.
Yeah. You know what? That is probably one of the hardest questions. I think I think the biggest opportunity for me, and the pandemic really brought this out, is that I had this great purpose. And I think that I've always had a good brand in terms of like what it means, and that it had an ulterior meaning, like why I opened my business. But I didn't do a great job of for other people to know that. They didn't maybe even know what Piccolo Mondo meant, maybe if they read the About Us, but like it didn't show up everywhere. And so my mission now is just to stay true to my brand and who I am, and also share that with my customers. And so it's like finding your perfect customer group. And really, for me, it's just like, okay, well, I don't need to just appeal to everyone. I'm going to be focused, and I'm going to be really great at these, this. I'm going to be an expert in this area. And for a long time, I think in the toy business, because I converted over and I was in my mid 30s. And in the beginning, it's like you're just go, go, go and trying to create this business. And then you kind of sit back and you're like, oh, okay, I've had some success, but well, there's experts. They've been doing it longer. They have more stores. And so I guess you could say imposter, where I'm not an expert on this. I don't, and so it was a little intimidating. And then I realized, well, I'm an expert in my area, like where I'm at, and I maybe other people consider me to be knowledgeable in these topics. And so I kind of needed just to get there and have more confidence in myself, and share all my whys with my customers. And that's what I've been able to do since really meeting you, is to share the whys and making those connections within my community. I could do it face to face in the beginning when I opened my store, but with having 3 locations and a website, nobody knows those things. And I think my goal for Piccolo Mondo is just to continue to be an important resource in our community, and to show up for our customers, and for me to continue to offer great product, great toys, the importance of play, importance of getting outside in nature, and all the benefits of, offline activities, really. And then all of the message about inclusivity and diversity, and how important it is that we, our friends look different than us, and that we can learn about people from all over the world. And we all share that in common. We care about our kids no matter where we live. I hope we do.
Oh
anyway.
my God. I know. I hope we do too. Yes.
Yeah.
That is definitely the hopes. Again, just crazy chills.
Oh,
Michelle,
thanks. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Such an inspiring story. This was such a great conversation. Will you tell people where to learn more about you and your stores?
Okay. So you can find us at piccolomondotoys.com. It's spelled PICCOLOMONDO toys.com. And we're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on TikTok now, which is awesome. Thank you. Yes. And that was a great, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. We have, I think, a group of 4 or 5 at one of my stores, the Progress Ridge store, and they are just going for it. And they said, yes, they said, well, do you want to see them first? And I said, no, I want you to do it. And I gave them 2 guidelines, 2 things. And so we are just letting them be, like, I think 3 of them are high school. I can barely think that they're high schoolers. They're so exceptional. They're young. And then, of course, our manager there is involved too, but they've just been very creative and inspiring to me. And they're going to show me, we're going to have a TikTok party, and they're going to probably show me some things. But I've had fun doing reels. And so I'm just going to be open-minded about Piccolo Mondo and not limit myself. I don't see myself opening maybe more locations, but definitely getting more with the website and being able to offer our message to more people in that way. Yeah. So,
Exactly.
we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. I do a Tuesday toy talk for our
Oh, I
customers
love
that is a Facebook Live, and it has, we have a pretty good audience, and a lot of people watch it after, which is totally understandable. Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, so we are on all those places and our website.
Okay, I love it. And I just have to say, so Michelle knows this, not everybody knows this, but I am like all about TikTok right now. I'm talking about it so much. And I'm like, you got to be on TikTok if you have a business, especially if you have a consumer facing business like a retail store. And so the fact that you've just empowered your team and again, asking for help, I bet, especially the age group, I bet they're totally loving creating these TikToks. They're probably finding the trends, probably thinking about it when they're on TikTok at home, and they're only going to take all that energy and enthusiasm and put it into your business. And then you get to be at a party and see all their results, which they're going to be so proud to share with you. Like they're really contributing on a whole nother level. And I just love that you do have that team and you've empowered them to do it. I can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah, yeah. I still do most of Facebook and Instagram, but I have a friend who helps me, and we brainstorm together. She was a rep in our industry, and so it's really wonderful because we kind of we inspire each other, and are like, oh, we're going to do this, and now she wants to brand our toy talk and like really have it take off and stuff. So we will see. She attended the Evolve this time around. And so we've been working together since I think October end of 2020, and that's when I asked for help. So she's no longer a rep, and she doesn't live that far from my store. And we just used to laugh so much together. We have a lot of fun. We do drink wine together a lot of times on our show.
Love
but
it.
yeah, it's been really amazing to just, in the beginning, I was so afraid to make a mistake or not look perfect or, this or that. And now I'm just like, and the more you do something, the better you get at it.
Yes.
And, yeah. So I've just continued to try to improve a little where I can, but then just be my authentic self. That is what you teach us. And I feel better like as a person. And it has just saying that has helped me in a lot. And I definitely had some struggles in 2020, just everything kind of was heightened. And I have to say that meeting you and hearing that and just revisiting my whys helped me to get through the pandemic. And we had our best year last year ever. Yeah,
awesome,
it was incredible. And I think it was a lot of the work that we did in that with the social media, and then I have to give some credit to obviously to Josh Orr and surrounding myself with the best people, Bob Nagin, these are some of the experts. And then there's even more that I've learned things on their podcasts and my friends in the industry and our association for the Good Toy Group. So it's the best of the best stores together. Yeah. So there's just so much goodness, I guess. Very positive. But thank you. I can't thank you enough.
Yes. Oh my God. And I can't thank you enough. I mean, seriously, like I said, for listening, for being a client of ours at Crystal Media, for everything that you do for the world, Michelle. I mean, I love your mission. I love your passions. I love what you're doing at your store. It's deeper than selling toys. I was totally like, Toy Talk, is there a podcast here? What's going on? Like, there's probably just such opportunity to explode that. If you ever need to brainstorm, I'm happy to do that. But you're just,
I definitely
you're
thought
dynamite.
about it. Definitely thought about it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to watch and see all of this grow and continue to grow. And congratulations on where you are today. And we'll link to everybody that we referenced today, Josh Orr, Bob Nagin, and of course, Michelle and Piccolo Mondo and all the places that you can connect. Definitely follow them on Instagram and TikTok and see the content they're creating. Swirl around their website. They've got great products. And Michelle, just thank you so much. One last cheers. This was so great.
Cheers. Yes. Oh.
I loved this conversation. So much inspiration and gold nuggets in it. So I thank you for your time and for opening up.
And I appreciate also your team, because you definitely have an amazing team that, you have compiled to support the retailers. So I really appreciate you guys so very much. And I appreciate your time. And I can't wait to listen to the first podcast for season 2. I'm so excited. I'm the biggest fangirl ever. So yay, thank you.
Yay. I can't wait for you to listen either. And I can't wait for your feedback. Format's changing a little bit. So I can't wait. You'll have to tell me. And thank you for shouting out that my team. I feel like I have the best team ever. They're just so amazing. And we all love our clients so much. We love retail. We want to support. We're happy to help. And my team is just, is epic. I am so proud of who we work with. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Big hearts. Yeah. All right. And someday I'm going to meet you in person. Someday.
Oh, well, hey, I'm planning Evolve's going to be in person. I'm kind of letting this out, but it is going to be in person next year. And also I'm planning some more treats.
Okay.
First week of April, we think.
First week of April. Ooh, Easter.
Yeah. So stay tuned. I mean, you're hearing it first. See why people should tune into Crystal Uncorked, because the information is just spilling.
Okay.
My entire team doesn't even know that yet, Michelle. My entire team does not even know that yet. So we got to keep it on the DL, okay? Don't tell anybody.
I plan ahead, so I'm already pulling my thing out. Block it off. When's Easter? But anyway, okay. Well, thanks so much.
Yes. Thank you, Michelle,
Take care.
much. And I'll see you online. And everybody, I'll see you on the next CU. Bye.
Bye.
Real quick, I just want to point out, if you are a retailer, Michelle and I talked a lot about Crystal Media and just how she is a client of our business. And if you are a retailer, you need Facebook ads management, you need help with your local listings, you need social media training, support, community. Crystal Media is the place to go. Check out crystalmediaco.com. You can book a call, learn about our services, and see how we can support you. And at the very least, head on over and check out our blog, crystalmediaco.com/blog. We release new content every week, and it's there just to support you in building your business. All right, thanks, and have a great day. All right, let's keep this conversation going. Join me on Instagram. I'm at Crystal Uncorked. And I need to tell you, thank you so much for listening to this show. It truly means the world to me. If you're enjoying Crystal Uncorked, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Okay, I'll see you on the next CU. Cheers, friend.